And welcome back to the show. Last year, mortgage rates doubled and sales plummeted, triggering the longest month-to-month slump on record. Throughout 2022, the Federal Reserve hiked its benchmark interest rate at a record pace to slow the economy and fight high inflation. Now, housing took the brunt of the impact as the most interest rate sensitive sector of the economy. And what does that mean for the housing market right here in New York moving forward? Pleased to be joined right now by the broker and owner of Morris Park Realty Group and Bronx Regional Director at Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors, Joseph Cosentino. And Joe, good to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's get right into it. I mean, when we talk about New York City, obviously seeing a slowdown in 2022, was it what you anticipated?
Actually, as crazy as it may seem, the Bronx is pretty strong. We did have a slowdown in December because of the rates and holidays. But typically in real estate, as you know, seasoned veterans, we're kind of used to this. Spring is usually our busy season into summer. People want to get in a home by the summertime and get their kids ready for school. But the Bronx County obviously did take a hit from 2021, but not too bad of a hit. We took about a 6% decline in sales for the year. But I think because of 2021 was such a strong year in the Bronx, we had double-digit growth for 5 years. So the high interest rates, like high cost of inflation, did hurt the sales, but it's definitely rebounding now.
You talk about inflation rates, and that's what a lot of people had to contend with. But when we talk about that number, you said 6%. To some, that may not seem like, well, they may seem like a lot, and to others, it may not seem like not a lot. How do you make that 6% out? Is that pretty huge or pretty not pretty huge?
Well, it's a small a small decline, but compared to the other counties that were in double-digit negative numbers, Westchester, Rockland, Putnam, in our region, which is like North Manhattan all the way up to Poughkeepsie and further up, we actually did the best of all the regions, which is Bronx County, as far as pricing and sales and activity.
Yeah. We're always getting conflicting opinions about home buying and when's the best time to buy a home. You should buy one, stay away from. Should buy one, stay away from one. Well, I got to bring you into the fray now. For you, talk to me about, is this a good time? Yes, no, or maybe so.
Well, with the cost of rents and the price of, what I see what rents are in the Bronx, you're pretty close to, or sometimes even more than what a mortgage would cost you. So I feel it's always a great time to buy if you have a, good income. Obviously you need good credit, good income. You need some money in the bank. You need to save, and stop wasting money on nonsense and credit cards. And really focus on saving and doing the things that we all, traditionally were taught. It's always a great time to buy a home. I always like to buy a multifamily home the first time out. As a new home buyer, it definitely helps you pay your mortgage. So I recommend to all my first-time home buyers, look at a multifamily instead of the single family. You could always upgrade to that single family home or a condo later.
Mm-hmm. But that multifamily is a good first property to own all the time.
Yes, I think it is. I believe in it. If you have a good landlord-tenant relationship, you become friendly with your tenants. I mean, obviously people don't like to hear that, but I mean, it helps you afford these higher priced homes. So if you're looking at a price home that's $800,000, single family home, that mortgage is going to cost you $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And if you got $2,000 coming in from rent, that cuts your mortgage in half. So I always recommend that as a first home. You could always upgrade to the single family later, and you could still use your FHA loan on a two family as a first time home buyer.
You know, you talked about that FHA loan. I wanted to have an opportunity to talk about that because that, for some that don't know, that's about a first-time home buyer's loan, right? Are there particular qualifications that you have to have if you're going to get an FHA loan?
You have to meet a minimum of credit. The guidelines are a lot less strict for an FHA. It's a government-backed loan, and you have to be a first-time home buyer. You have to be a first-time home buyer, but it doesn't have to be your first home. As long as you haven't owned a home in, I think it's 5 or 6 years, you could qualify for that FHA again. So if you had a house, you sold it, and you've been renting, now you want to go buy another home, you could take advantage of the FHA, but you always want to speak to your banker. As realtors, we just sell and negotiate and market. And I always refer our bankers out to the clients. Sometimes FHA is the right way, sometimes conventional is the right way. Depends on your situation.
Any things that we should be looking out for right about now? I mean, obviously, the winter's upon us, and as you said, it's a little slow when it comes to home buying season.
Yeah.
But for the person that's out there, anything they should be paying attention to during this time of year?
I tell all the buyers, just make offers. When you go see a home and you make a list of pros and cons of the home or what you're looking for. Obviously, everyone wants to hit a 10 out of 10 on a list, but if you're hitting 7 or 8 out of 10, and it's in the right area, the right community, close to where you work. If you're working from home, it's great, but that definitely won't last forever. And I always say, if you're looking at a price range, try to pick an area that's geographically close to where you work and where your community is, because it obviously, with the high gas prices and cost of transportation, if you buy a home upstate and it's going to take you 2 hours to get into work, that defeats your whole purpose of what you're trying to do is better yourself, and you're just spending more money commuting, and you're less time with your family. So, and then you got to have good transportation, good restaurants, good, community safe areas, good schools. These are all things that are important to buyers today.
Yeah.
And just make offers. Like, get out there, you see a home, make an offer, and you don't know if the seller at that point is just ready to take an offer. And it's happened. The house has been sitting on the market maybe for 30, 60 days, and you don't know if they've had offers or what the deal is. So you really just tell your agent, look, I like that house, I like the location, let's make an offer.
Yeah. Joe, we talked about buyers, but I didn't get an opportunity to talk about sellers. Some quick advice for sellers before we go.
Well, I work with mostly sellers. I'm a listing agent, and I pride myself on really putting a good presentation to all my listings. I try to have a good conversation with the seller, provide comps, provide the marketing technology, the assistance always there for them. I got my cell phone with me all the time. Communication is very important when you're listing. Marketing, professional photography, drone technology, everything that's available today to us as realtors. We didn't have this stuff 20 years ago. So you got to really educate the seller of how you're going to market their property. And especially in the winter, when we have cold temperatures, you have snow, people really don't want to get out there to go, trudging around with the traffic and the price of gas. So you really need these online tools and these digital technology to help you market your listings. So all that together, obviously, good service, trust, loyalty. These are the things, good referral-based network. These are all the things that I try to help my sellers understand.
Yeah, well, I think it's important. I think there's some critical information out there, and certainly want to make sure that we pass that on, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to bring you back and share a little bit more, because as we are, at this time of year, as we know, the winter's just about getting out the door, hopefully, and soon the spring will be back, and things will be back in full bloom. And when it comes to buying and selling, we know that's when the market continues to rise, and hopefully we'll have you back.
Great. Well, we're in February already. We're close. We just got to get to March with no major snowstorms. We'll be great.
Say the word, Joe. All right, Joe Cosentino, our guest. He is also the broker and owner of Morris Park Realty Group and also Bronx Regional Director at Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And want to let you know, if you want more information, don't hesitate to go ahead and visit the website. The website is morrisparkrealtygroup.com. And then also follow them on Facebook at Morris Park Realty. We encourage you, don't go anywhere. We got more show coming up. We'll return.
Thank you.